Hey everyone, I thought this would be a really fun video. This is Newt's ninth ride, I believe, so I hauled over to the arena where we will be going to tomorrow. Newt is my Texas Extreme Mustang Makeover horse. This is probably about his fourth time, maybe fifth time cantering. And it was nice because we had this bigger area to move out into, so it was cute to see his little lope going. And we're still riding in the halter right now. He is holding the bridle though. And yeah, it was nice to just see his lope. He definitely struggles more with the left lead, so it takes us a while to get it. I suck at roping, but he let me throw the rope off of him. And then it shoots right into the next day, which is the actual EXCA race. We competed in Green Horse, and it's kind of a toss up on how I thought we were going to do because we really haven't done much of this stuff before. Like, I've maybe side passed him twice. And in fact, right here was my first time ever opening a gate on him or holding a rope on him, aside from that clip you just saw where I tossed it off of him. It's pretty cool. In EXCA, you actually get 2 runs of the same course. So here is our very first run. We had a short warm up, and they wanted to see a rollback here, so that was the best they were going to get from me. And this, I wasn't sure how we were going to do. It is a mattress with a bridge covering on a tarp. And this was his very first time seeing it and his very first try at it. And I do apologize, but you can see the camera's a little bit shaky because I did have someone helping yell the patterns out to me since I didn't really memorize the course all too much. But this little guy is game for everything. So after the gate and the bridge, you then had to go into this box and ground tie. Obviously, I'm not going for speed here because I don't really know what I'm doing, and he is literally on ride 11. So I'm trying to make sure he stays ground tied. Usually he does this at home, so I just wanted to make sure. He's kind of like, what the heck are we doing? But yeah, I'm not too worried about time. I'm more wanting to just make sure this is a good experience for him. Get myself all prepped up and ready to go. You should see some of the people that ride through this. They are going so fast and they just get on and their horse is in motion as they get on. And I'm like, I'm not trying to create bad habits with this guy. That's the squeeze. So those cups have water in them. So basically, if you knock them, uh, then you get points off, I guess. And again, this is now our, what, third time side passing since we tried to at the gate. And now we're over a pole, side passing to ring a bell. I just moved the little handle up and down. I wasn't sure how he's going to feel about the noise of it, so we did our best. There we go. And now we have the free ride, which is basically you're supposed to gallop around a whole entire lap. So we're going to fast trot until I feel like I might be able to pick up that correct lead on him, which for him it's pretty difficult because he really favors that right lead right now. So we were on the wrong lead and I wasn't going to have him hold that. So we managed to fix it. Little guy's going around, and our steering is going out the window a little bit. That's okay though. I'm impressed that he held it for this long because that's probably the longest we've held the canter for. And then we had this hoist step. I think it's called a cash grab or something. And the only problem here, I remember this now, the rope was twisted around the bag. So you can see it's not that easy for me to lift up. I'm really struggling to get it up there. And it's supposed to go up pretty smooth and easy. Look how good Newt is being during this. And you're supposed to gently put it back down by walking forward. Mind you, I don't think I've ever ridden him with just holding the reins with one hand before. And for a lot of these, you'll see I'm kind of having to just hold one hand on the rein. And this is where we had a little bit of an incident. So Newt is supposed to back up into this ball to have it back up. Now we've practiced backing up and moving the hip like to go around a barrel, but we haven't tried to back up into an object before. Unfortunately, you can only really see half of what happens, but we get into a little bit of a fight, and you'll see how I adjust for my second round, and the hip's moving all over. So I'm like, hey, we've practiced moving our hip around before while backing up. Like, let's try to keep it straight here. I don't think I've ever even backed him up in a chute before, so this was a lot to ask of him. And he's getting obviously a little fussy about it, which sometimes when I introduce something new to him, he gets kind of fussy, but he was just wanting to argue a little bit. And I should have quit right when he tipped the ball just one little inch the first time. But I was pretty determined to keep him moving forward and trying to line that hip up. It's basically, I'm on a green horse trying to keep him in this one little area and do a very specific task. Trying to make sure he doesn't throw his head down, and then that's when we get that pretty little thing right there. Cute. So I say, all right, we're moving forward out of there. Obviously, they rung the bell for me to move along, but I needed to get him to back up one more step before we moved. That is the first time he did that. I did want to leave that in to show you guys because that stuff happens in training. It doesn't mean he's a bad horse. It means he's a green horse, and I put him in a high pressured situation, and I should have kind of been like, hey, we haven't backed up into a ball before. Maybe I should just back him up and then acknowledge the judge and end there. So we did our little barrel pattern afterwards. I got him going forward, and he's being such a good boy and a good sport about everything. You pick the ball up, and then you walk around the cone or trot because it is timed. And then you put the ball back down, and then you go through the timers. And usually right here they want to see a rollback to go all the way around the cones to go through the timers again, but I was like, I'm just going to save time. Obviously, we don't have the cleanest or fastest run anyways. I'm just going to go forward here. Awesome, and that was our very first pattern. I love his little trot. He's so cute. And then, of course, I backed up there too. And now this is our second run. Same exact pattern. There were points of it that were better in the first run, and overall, though, my second one was really good. I think I chopped off 2 minutes of time. I was a lot quicker, but I think some of the elements I did smoother in the first one. I really can't be too upset, though, because, like I said, this is his 11th ride. We're just here for the heck of it. And we got a little bit of that front end movement. That was cute. He tried to pivot around. I'm so impressed with how he did with this bridge and tarp. Especially even the first time. Like, he hesitated for half a second and then went, but there wasn't really any big fight. I'm just having to keep him straight. Again, with the ground tying, I thought I could be a little bit faster this time, so I do this really pathetic slow jog. He's so good. I haven't gotten on him with a block before. I ended up getting on him with a block later that day, but for the sake of competing, I wanted to just ground mount because that's what we're used to. I didn't want him to get in the habit of trotting off each time we did something. Squeeze barrels, my fault. I just ran right into it, but I am really happy with his reaction to that water splashing on his butt. He didn't move or care, so pretty happy about that. But yeah, that's one thing about EXCA. I've just been doing this timed thing with him, and I'm not trying to put this makeover horse in a mindset of rushing, where we have to go fast after we complete each thing. So I'm trying to still kind of take my time with everything, not immediately get on and take off at a fast trot. I thought he was pretty tired because we had quite a bit of rest in between the runs. And I was pretty impressed he picked up the correct lead just from a straightaway right there. But he started to understand the free ride and that he's supposed to canter a lap, so that helped him out a lot. And then he did a little lead change for whatever reason. His balance felt like he had to change it. So that was kind of impressive. Obviously, I didn't ask for it. Well, maybe I did. Maybe my body shifted and that's what made him change it. But all right, this time the rope was not twisted when I went to grab the string. You can see a lot easier. We're able to get the bag up to the top and then walk back forward. Really, really impressed with this guy. Like, super proud of him. And this is where I made a better training decision. So coming up over here, I wanted to get pretty far in front of it and just ask him to back up. And as soon as he backed up a couple steps, honestly, I didn't even care if it was straight at this point. If he's going backward fluid, I'm going to acknowledge the judge and move along to the next obstacle. Because that's not really fair of me to ask him to do that if that made him that nervous, especially when it's like timed and in a high stress situation where they're going to ring me out and I may not be able to make progress or I may go a little bit backwards first. I don't want to leave that on a bad experience. So this is kind of a moment where you have to have your training brain side come out, not necessarily your competitive side. Because Newt doesn't care how fast we are. The ball moving, we did better last time. I didn't do the best job lining myself up this time to get it and put it back. Yeah, I should have moved him closer. And through the finish line. And we ended up coming in 4th in our division, which was pretty fun. He's such a fun little guy. I got so many compliments on him, and a lot of people liked him, and maybe one of these people will be interested in making him their future EXCA horse. He definitely has potential to do something like this. I just wanted to share this with you guys because, especially on Facebook, I shared some photos of him competing, and y'all wanted to see the videos, and they were just a little too long to post. So I just wanted to talk about him and give a little bit of a rundown and, update you guys on YouTube on how he's doing. But yeah, this was just this past weekend.